Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I want to share with you guys my top 5 most carried EDC folding knives over, actually it's been almost 2 months. I feel like we kind of skipped one in there, but let me preface this by saying 2 knives have completely and totally dominated my pockets. This is a list of 5, but the first 3 absolutely pale in comparison to the pocket time of the last 2. So these are legitimately my top 5, just like I always do. It's just very heavily weighted towards the last ones. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure and follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Everything will be linked down in the description, as you know, to the best of my ability. Some of this is available and some of it's not. So I'll link everything down below and you guys can check it out if you want to. Starting off here with number 5, just a little bit of pocket time, and this is the Spyderco Micro Yojimbo. I have not had this very long. I think, you know, over time, this is something that I would carry a lot more, but I absolutely love this knife. This is the carbon fiber variation. They do have the standard variation with G10 and S30V, but this is carbon fiber and S90V, and my goodness, it's one of the smallest knives that I have EDC'd where I'm not only able to get a full grip on it, but I'm actually able to manipulate it easily. That's the Spyderco compression lock and that opening hole, and I just absolutely love it. I gotta admit that I love this nearly as much as I love the Sage 6. It's just an absolutely phenomenal EDC. I love the blade profile. I love that I can get my finger up here behind the tip. S90V is one of my favorite steels ever, but I would be perfectly happy with the S30V variation. I also love that this is a USA-made pocket knife. This is, you know, in the Yojimbo family, and every time I show the Yojimbo or the Yojumbo or whatever, like there's a small group of like self-defense enthusiasts that are, you know, really want me to talk about the elements there. And I can't speak on self-defense because I'm not an expert in any capacity, and I just want to use these as general, you know, EDC knives. I have no idea if the Micro Jimbo is actually meant as just a smaller, you know, self-defense stuff. Whatever. It works really, really well as a general EDC knife. My rule with little tiny knives, and the reason that I don't usually carry, this is not a little tiny knife, it's just like on the small side. The reason I don't carry knives past a certain size point is because they become awkward and unfun to manipulate. As soon as something becomes inefficient to manipulate, it's unlikely that I'm going to keep it in my pocket. But because of the way that everything is placed and the area that everything is placed, my fingers and my hands can find natural positions on this knife to deploy the blade and retract it, or, you know, push that compression lock tab in. It's just really, really great. This is an exceptional knife. It costs more than I think some people would care to care to deal with. But if you are a fan of the Spyderco compression lock, you like knives that are on the smaller side, and you want something that is, you know, just that convenient sort of Spidey hole and compression lock combination, the Micro Jimbo is exceptional. It's a very, very good knife. Moving on here to the number 4 spot, and that's the Fox Knives new Smarty. This automatic knife is just so appealing to me for so many reasons. When I unbox, you guys probably saw the unboxing here recently. I've actually had this for a few weeks now. It is so comfortable. It's so good looking. I love the kind of Benchmade AFO2 kind of. It's not exactly the same, but if you look that knife up, I think you'll understand exactly why. You know, it reminds me of that. The power, the action is so crispy. It is just phenomenal. The button feels great. It's got that little secondary sort of locking tab if you need to use it. I've never had to use it. It's just really nice. And I don't normally EDC an automatic knife. I just typically don't do it because, you know, you have to, like, you can close it with one hand if you want to do that. But I don't find that to be, you know, a safe feeling means of putting the blade back in. But you can't do that. I typically just don't carry them because I have to use 2 hands. But it's such a great feeling knife. Like the deployment on it, it's very powerful. I've mentioned this in the unboxing. It feels similar to ProTech, just incredibly snappy. There's not a lot of travel in the button, not like a crunchy travel in the button. You push the button and it deploys, makes an awesome sound. And also the dome, that dome top of the button is just, I don't know what it is about that. It just feels better to press in on than some of those buttons that kind of look like, you know, they're like textured. They look like targets with a bullseye, and they're kind of textured. This is just a lot more pleasant. It's a good looking knife. It feels good in hand, and it's very, very pleasurable to deploy. Very, very fun. Next up, in the number 3 spot, this is very, very close to what a lot of people would describe as a perfect EDC knife. This is the Vosteed Martin 330, and I believe you can still pick these up. These are just over 100, I think $109. This is the more full-size version of this knife, but to me, this is about, I mean, it's Benchmade bug-out-esque, and so when I say that, I should not give credit to that profile. I shouldn't give credit of profile to the bug-out, because that profile is just knife, right? But that's kind of what people are going to see here. This is just about the most perfect version of that has ever existed. It's not expensive enough to be considered an expensive knife, but it's also not a budget knife, but it also doesn't feel like a budget knife because of the contoured and textured aluminum. I love the anodizing here, the sort of cobalt anodizing. I love the combination with the purple thumb studs. We also have, I believe, a PVD coating on this. It's almost like a smoky gray. This is 154 cm. The pocket clip feels great. Backspacer looks cool. It's a button-operated top liner lock. It's beautifully textured. It's so comfortable. Nice choke-up spot. Functional jimping. Great blade shape. This is such an exceptional knife. Now, it would be cool if they made a version of this knife exactly in like micarta or G10 and 14C28N and brought it down at least to where the raccoon and the porcupine are. But I kind of like that this is in its own league. For people who have picked up the Vosteed Porcupine and the Raccoon or both and they like them, but they just want something that kind of has that same feel. It just feels it operates the same way, but it looks and feels more premium. The Martin 330 is that. It's just a slightly more premium version. And 154 cm in terms of the performance is probably not going to be a whole lot different than what you experience with 14C28N. But the entire knife feels, you know, you look at that price and you're like, yes, you know, these are $69, this is $109. This feels about that much more, right? I would have been really over the moon if this knife was only like 99 bucks or less. But I'm really happy with it, and I found that it actually has made its way into my pocket a lot more than I expected it to. This is a highly, highly recommendable knife. And despite having the look of kind of that straightforward, you know, utilitarian EDC drop point, somehow Vosteed still managed to push some personality through with this guy. It still does kind of do its own thing, and I really appreciate that. It's such a high-quality product. Vosteed is awesome. Okay. Moving on here to, let's do the number 4 and 5 spot together. There's no reason to not do the number 4 and 5 spot together. And a lot of people are going to roll their eyes. But also, you got to think about this. Can you blame me? Can you blame me? I mean, what would you do in my position? Number 4 spot, the Metal Complex in Kunwu Mini Excalibur. Are we calling it the Mini or the Micro? Surely we're not calling it the Micro, the Mini Excalibur. And also, the number, did I say number 2? This is the number 2 spot. And the number 1 spot is the Metal Complex in Kunwu full-size Excalibur. Now these are prototypes, right? The pre-order for this is open. We will continue to leave it open for a long time. Then we will manufacture however many, you know, we have for pre-orders, and then they will deliver it probably sometime in early 2026. Last time I think the entire process was like 4 or 5 months, which on a pre-order is actually pretty quick. But we do know we're in that pre-order process, and the reason is we want to make sure that everybody who wants one can actually get one. So that's kind of where we're at now. But yeah, guys, like, I obviously love my own knife. It's great. I've been carrying the full-size titanium integral version, the original version, for so long, but operating this knife via the Vertilock, which is in its position, it's very similar in like how you manipulate it to the Spyderco compression lock, and then it engages behind that lock face like a compression lock. It's not actually a compression lock, but it engages that way. This is phenomenal because this is the way that I prefer. My favorite knives, you know, for a long time have been knives like the Spyderco Para 3 or the Spyderco Shaman. And I, you know, currently EDC a Sage 6 with a button-operated compression lock. But I love this so much people have asked me, why don't you put a button on that? You put a button on that, it makes it perfect. I'll tell you exactly why. Reviewing knives for as long as I have, and as much as I love these button-operated top liner locks and stuff like this, I find that in some cases, where the button would need to be able to be manipulated efficiently and comfortably and conveniently, it also ends up in a pressure path. Sorry there, guy. A pressure path for your hands while you're squeezing and using this knife. What I love so much about my own Excalibur, and something that I stressed to Sergio, is that locking system needs to be in the same position as the Spyderco compression lock, because it is not possible that your pressure from your hand could accidentally disengage it. Where it is tucked into the frame. The only way to disengage this lock is, number one, apply catastrophic force to your folding knife, which should not happen because it's a folding knife, right? Or two, deliberately disengage it with your finger. This is great because it's essentially impossible for the thing to disengage when you don't want it to. That's awesome. Really, really like that. The other thing that I love is, because this is not a liner lock or a frame lock or anything like that, there is never a time while I am manipulating the blade to deploy it, or manipulating the lock so that the blade falls down into the closed position, there is never a time where my fingers are actually in the blade path. That's the same with the little guy too. The more I carry the little guy, the more I can't decide if I like the little one or the big one. My carbon fiber variation is actually currently with Sean Ashmore. He had asked if he could check out the prototype, and I said absolutely. So he's currently got that one. And I was carrying that one probably more than the titanium version because I loved the weight balance. From these prototypes to the final production versions, I plan to have the detent stiffened up just a little bit, and obviously there's some internal changes that are going to occur with the carbon fiber variations so that the stop pins are not relying on the carbon fiber. Rather, they'll be relying on steel as far as contact points. But there'll be little tiny changes between these and the final production variations, but these early prototypes are so preferable to me, and it should come as no surprise to anybody. I designed this to be an ideal pocket knife for me, so the end result should be that it is one of the most preferential things for me to carry, and it absolutely is. I love this one. It's hard for me to decide between the small size and the large size, and I think realistically, this goes right along with what I originally said. The whole idea with making a smaller one is so that people who found the big one too big had another option. And the whole idea with the carbon fiber was to give people different options for weight. Full size heavy, full size light, small size heavy, small size light. That way you can go all the way down to the smaller size carbon fiber and just really enjoy it. With this guy, with the smaller guy, I prefer to deploy it with the thumb studs. It feels a little more natural for my fingers than reverse flicking it, but you can also, of course, just wheel it out. That's what's nice about that compression lock there, is because you're not applying pressure to that locking system, maybe like you would a titanium frame lock. You can very easily just wheel it out with that opening slot, but I prefer to use the thumb stud on the smaller one. For the larger one, I prefer to reverse flick it. I think that feels really great, but it's also very easy to simply wheel out or use the thumb stud and deploy. Incredibly fidgety. The contouring feels absolutely amazing. The pocket clip, obviously this has been updated, so we have the new clip, and yes, the newer one does have a smaller clip. I think the tension is absolutely perfect on both. The edge performance, like the behind the edge thinness, is just spectacular. It's a knife that feels big and robust and capable, but it doesn't feel heavy and clunky. It feels efficient. It feels elegant, but it also feels kind of muscly and kind of cool. Like I'm sitting here saying all good things. Obviously, it's my own knife, but I'm just so pleased with this. I can't wait for people to get this in hand. I loved my integral, and for people who prefer the integral and the frame lock, great. I think it's awesome. That one's always going to be the OG. I feel like this one is the superior product, and it also costs substantially less because it's not Van-X, it's LMAX, and it's also not an integral, it's a two-piece. So the base price comes in at about $220 for like the smaller variations in carbon fiber, and then the base titanium, excuse me, the base full-size one I believe is $250. Right around there. But yeah, we also have left-handed variations available. So for people who are left-handed. It's not just the fact that you can mount the pocket clip on the other side. No, the locking system is actually flip-flopped for left-handed people. It's just really great. By the way, whether you manipulate this right or left-handed, that pressure results in the same thing either time, and that's the blade falling. The pivot smoothness on these is just really awesome. These have completely and totally dominated my pockets. It's an absolute joy. I love it. For those of you who pre-ordered, I think you're really going to like it too. Yeah, so I'll leave the pre-order link in the description. These are honestly the knives that I have been carrying the most, and it's probably going to be that way for a bit. This, I think, is partially why I almost skipped the whole month of doing this, because I was like, oh, these are the only things that I want to carry. I mean, or primarily one of the only knives that I want to carry right now, right? So, but that's going to be it. So again, number 1 spot, full-size Excalibur Vertilock. Number 2 slot is the mini Excalibur Vertilock. Number 3 slot is the Vosteed Martin 330. Number 4 slot is the Fox Knives new Smarty. I don't know if I actually said that or not. And then the number 5 spot is the Spyderco Micro Jimbo. That's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.